Damage control.
Back at the Ultimate Combat Training Center, Mike Stem's gym in Sandy, Utah, with Olympic gold medalist Mark Schultz. Phenomenal seminar. If you guys ever get a chance to bring him out, I love the seminar format. I'm getting a little bit older. I'm losing a lot of my mental the few mental faculties that I have are dwindling away. And one thing I really liked about the format is we learned, say, one main technique, the arm drag, and then we learned like 7 setups for it and then a couple of different finishes. But it always came back to that same basic muscle mechanic and muscle memory, and that's something I really enjoyed. It's something I find very helpful. The other thing I really liked about the seminar is hearing some of the background and hearing some of the backstories and how you'd pick up techniques by being in matches, by competing or watching guys competing. And one of my favorite stories was the one about the infamous or famous double wrist lock. Now, the most fascinating part of it to me was how the other guy got caught in it, and I was wondering if maybe you could explain more about that reverse, the reverse fling off the wizard.
The limp arm?
The limp arm, because I'll limp arm, but I've never, it's just to get the pressure off my arm, and I've never thought to use it to advance my position. Could you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, the way that the guy that I got in this double wrist lock, the reason it's gotten all this publicity is because this was the gold medal match. It was the first medal match. It was the first match in the Olympics for me, and it just happened to be the gold medal match. And this guy was ranked #1 in the world. He beat all the communist bloc countries. And first 30 seconds of the match, he gets me in an underhook, like I'm him, and he's pushing into me with his head and his underhook. And I'm pushing back into him. Actually, I think my head was in the pocket. And I was pushing back into him. And at the last second, he quickly took his arm, pulled it this way, and then grabbed my leg. Then after he got a hold of my leg, let's say you're him, and you got a hold of my leg here, and his head's on the outside. I grabbed his arm in a double wrist lock here. And I threw him like this. And I expected him to roll through and give me 3 points, but he hit his head on the way through, stopping his rotation. His arm went beyond the 90-degree angle and it busted his elbow. He fell on his back and the referees called him pinned. I was disqualified 8 hours later for excessive brutality, and they assigned the head referee for the Olympics to watch me and my brother for the rest of the tournament, because my brother sprained the Yugoslav's knee in the match right before that. So luckily, it was only a disqualification from the match and not the entire tournament, and it was a double elimination tournament. So as long as I could continue winning, I could still win the gold.
Can you talk a little bit more about that, the finer details of the grip and the direction of force while you're limp arming? Because again, when I'm here, I've relaxed my arm to get out, but I've never seen anybody do what you just did, where you limp arm. Yeah. And then continue dragging it through for that single leg.
Yeah, what you do is you want to make your arm really solid like a rock. And then and you want this guy to be pushing into you. And as he's pushing into you, at the last second, you go from a rock to limp spaghetti. And you just go, and there's the leg.
Can we go a little bit slower, and then can you get a shot of where his hand gets placed on my tricep there?
He's here. And then like this, I'm going to grab the tricep. I'm going to pull it through. I'm going to grab it.
That is phenomenal. I mean, I really like that because, I mean, you can do that from, say, like a quarter position. From our perspective as doing MMA and Jiu-jitsu and submission wrestling, a lot of times getting out of underneath the guy from half guard, you'll have that underhook and you'll be trying to get out underneath him or take his back, and he'll be whizzering you. And I've relaxed that and sometimes been able to swim it back over, but I've never relaxed it, grabbed that tricep and flung him through to help.
A lot of times you don't get the you actually won't be able to grab here, but you want your hand to twist that way like you would be grabbing it as you're pulling it out.
So regardless, it's the right way to place your hand.
Right, and you want the motion to continue with the same speed regardless of whether you grab it or not.
Nice.
But the more pressure you put into me, and the faster I can change from rock solid to limp spaghetti, the better it works.
And what is that called? Just A limp arm jab?
It's a limp arm.
Just a basic limp arm. Finer details from Olympic gold medalist Mark Schultz. Look him up on Facebook or come check him out here at the seminar at the Ultimate Combat Training Center in Santa, Utah, guys.